Forky and Skinny here have gotten large enough and strong enough to undermine my corral here. It worked for the first number of months, but now they're just able to like fling the gate up. You can see the angle that it's on back there. There's other spots where they're just plowing underneath the fence. The fencing itself is starting to warp and bend with what they're doing. So this has become a problem, and it's a good thing that as we circled around the corral with each pasture, I continued to string my electric fence around with it, and it runs out over there to where their pasture's supposed to be right now. And that way, anytime that they do undermine my corral, they're not getting out into the forest, which would be the absolute worst. But that said, we've now come full circle around the corral, and I've got to get these guys moved away from this shelter altogether and eventually across my driveway into a new block of forest. And so we've got to have a secure area to put these guys while the electric fence gets taken down and reorganized in a different way. And this here is no longer capable of doing it. So today I'm going to be starting another shelter in a different area where they're moving to, and hopefully to be able to corral them into it and then rearrange our fencing to move them into a different area. Temporary shelter is going to go right here using these trees as the corners, and I've got these strong metal panels here to go on the sides. Provided I strap those down really well, it should be strong enough to hold them, because I know with an area this large, these pigs are not going to be happy coming into here. I'm going to leave one side that we can leave it open to try to corral them in, and then immediately shut behind them, wire it, and then we're going to have them contained here while we move our electric fence to come past the gatehouses and over across the driveway. So what I've learned this summer also, having these pigs, is that for a shelter, really all that you would require is brush. They tend to like coming in underneath brush piles and hiding, and it keeps the weather off of them, the wind, the flies. So I'm just going to pile in some brush around here to kind of camouflage the shelter a bit and see if we can move them in here. And they can sleep here a couple nights as well while they root and till up this part of the pasture. So we have the basic layout now of our pig trap / shelter, and I was able to make it into a funnel coming into the area that we're eventually going to trap them into while we move our fencing. With everything laid out the way it is now, I have to wire it together, and I usually always use wire, not rope, for this kind of thing, because you can tighten it down really well, and it's got a lot of strength to it. Hulkamania, brothers. Placing large, heavy logs like this helps to keep the pigs from lifting up the fence itself or trying to undermine it. So I'm going to run a few of these on the inside of this. Okay, so our temporary pig shelter is done. I'm just going to pan around, starting on this side here. There's only one strand running right now, but we've got electric fence that runs right here. So this here gate blocks off anything from going further in that direction. And then our electric fence is going to run right here to this post on this side of the corral, and we've also going to have it run around the corral. As we've learned, if they do undermine it, you want to have fencing that encompasses the outside of your shelter, trap, corral, whatever you want to call it. So now, to show how we're going to pen them in here, When it comes time, we're going to funnel them this way and then grab this gate here and run it over. And then once in place, we'll wire it on either side, and hopefully that'll buy us enough time with the pigs in there to take down everything we have for fencing and run it that direction across the driveway. This is our finished temporary pig shelter. I can take this down and move it again within a relatively short amount of time, but we're going to get our pigs in here over the next few days. When I open up this next pasture, I'm going to move their food troughs in here and try to get them used to coming in and eating back in the back of this, because although pigs love this type of a shelter, they like to have a pass-through so that if a predator were to come along, they can come and go out of either side of whatever pile of brush that they're in. And so I don't think they're going to like the fact that they're hemmed in the back here. But if we get them used to coming in and feeding at night, then the day that we go to move our fencing, we'll put some food down in here, push them in. They should have no problems at that point, and then we can close it off and do the rest of our work. Thanks for watching. If you're learning anything, please like and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated.